Go. There you go.
I have not figured out how to record. Like I have it all set up, so I'm gonna have to go back and figure that out.
Oh, it's big fun.
Yeah, I set it up in my settings in my profile, but anyway, sorry. I'll get off.
That's fine. That's fine. So here is how to get an A on your career portfolio. Before we start, me. What's that? Oh, I thought I heard somebody asking a question. Okay, so my career path. Oh wait, I don't see the chat box. Hold on one second. Okay, can you, hold on. Escape. Okay, hold on one sec. I was unable to see the chat box when I started sharing my screen. So Professor Hedekin, if you suddenly can't hear me, wave, because I've got you as one of the people who's I can see for sure when I'm doing my sharing. So okay. Yeah, so in case I miss the chat. So let me.
Yeah, it's a little tricky when you have you're sharing your screen.
Yeah.
I think I just figured it out by serendipity, but mine came up when I looked at when you shared your screen.
Okay. Yeah, it showed up before the last time I did it, but it didn't show this time.
Okay.
Okay, so let me share my screen again. All right. So this is how to get an A on your career portfolio. So allow me to tell you about me. I actually have not been a librarian my whole career. I began my career as a theatrical lighting designer. I got my bachelor's degree in theatrical lighting design. I was a theater person. I went to Hollywood High School of Performing Arts, and I sang, acted, and danced, and then I got into lighting design, and I ended up going to the University of North Carolina School of the Arts to become a theatrical lighting designer. After I graduated, it was really hard to get a job back then. It was the middle of the last recession you keep hearing about. That's when I graduated from my college. And I did find a job in Atlanta after graduating in North Carolina. And I went to Atlanta and I was a lighting designer there. And I realized, you know what, this is not the long-term goal for me. This is a long-term plan for me. People just weren't, the job was unstable. It really, you know, you got a job and then you didn't have a job and then you have to go find another job and then you had, you know, so it was too much bouncing around, not enough money, not enough. I have to get my own health insurance. I want somebody else to provide that. So I decided to become eventually what I ended up doing was becoming a manager at a Fortune 500 company, the credit card industry. And I was a manager in the credit card industry. I went up the ladder. I started at an entry-level position where I answered phones in customer service. They really liked the work I did, and they just kind of kept promoting me until I became a national manager. And then they relocated me back to California, which is where I grew up all my life. And I got here and I was doing my job and I was making lots of money for me and making lots of money for the corporation. And that was really great. And I felt totally unfulfilled. I felt like I just didn't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I went back to school to become a teacher. So I wanted to be a K-12 teacher. And I went to school and got all my certifications and everything for that. And then when it came to find a job, my best friend had done some work in a library, and somebody had said, well, there's a library job over here at this school, you should go for it. My friend went, oh, no. I know what it takes to be a librarian in K-12. I don't want to do that, but you want my friend Allison. You need to ask her if she wants to have this job. So I interviewed for that job, and I ended up becoming a librarian in K-12. And I did that for 10.5 years. And then this job came open at Mesa 13 years ago, and I applied for it and I got it. And that's how I became a librarian at Mesa. So all that to say, what you want to do right now can lead you to the best job of your life, and that may have nothing to do with the job that you're looking at right now. I got a job as an academic professor, librarian, and I had who would have thought that this is where I would end up at? And they didn't tell me, hey, your bachelor's degree isn't in academia, isn't in librarianship, isn't in whatever, so you can't do this job. No, I had a bachelor's degree that was really good. I did well in my bachelor's program. I went and I got the master's degree as library science eventually. I did the things I needed to do. You just have to find out, what does it take? When you decide you want a certain career, what does it take to be that career? What kind, do I have to go back to school? Do I have to get certifications? What do I have to do? And you just go do it. And that's been my experience, and you intern, you find people who do that job, and you sit with them and you see, what is this job like all day long, that kind of stuff. And I did all that. And yeah, just focus. It's, when you find the right job, it's so much fun. Speaking of which, I love this job. I found the best job for me. I don't know why everyone doesn't want to be a librarian. I say it every time I talk to people. I don't know what everybody's thinking when they don't want to be a librarian. So there you go. All right, so let me see if I can do it this way. Nah, it doesn't want to do it that way. All right, so this is your how to get an A in your career portfolio. So you have a portfolio career project that you've been given, which you may or may not have looked at this point in time. So I'm going to go over, so you guys can get the most out of this. I am going to show you the sections. So on the left-hand side of your screen here is your portfolio career project. And I took a picture of it and it looks okay, but on the right hand here, I've pulled out the things that I think are most important about your project. So part one, you're going to need to create a resume. And I'm going to show you how to find some books on how to create a resume. I was talking to Alex earlier about how you might, there's a book, for example, on keywords. Right now, a lot of times if you submit a resume, there's a computer that looks over the resumes really fast and pulls keywords. And there are books that can tell you, if you want to be an accountant, here are the keywords you may want to put in your resume that will pull your resume that somebody will actually then look at it. So we'll go over that. And that's 20 points of your portfolio project is going to be this resume part. 50 points of your portfolio career project is going to be creating a PowerPoint using the 4 quadrants, which are down here. Using the 4 quadrants. Now, you're going to have 5 or more examples in each section. Now, take a look at these 4 quadrants. There are not 5 things in each quadrant. Job description. If you just write a job description, that's not giving 4 or more examples. So what else can you write in your job description that will give her 5 examples of the job? And I'm going to show you things like, what are the tasks that are done in this job? What kind of activities? What kind of education's down here. You need education over here. But there's a lot more information, and I'm going to show you where to find that information so you don't have to try and make it up. Because you don't want to do that. Well, you can do all the research and all of it, it'll all be here for you. And it also, you're going to have to do a bibliography that gives all of the references that you choose to use. And that's going to be an MLA style. And I'm going to show you some places that you can go to get help for your MLA style. And bibliography is also a works cited page. You may have heard it called that. And that's what that is. So that's another 50 points. 10 points is going to be a minimum 1-page typed reflection of what you've learned. You're going to be reflecting on questions like, what did you learn? How will you apply these life lessons in the future? So that's going to be the last 10 points of the 80 points that you can get on this assignment. Feel free to hop in anytime, Professor. Oh, I can't hear you because you're on mute. Yeah, I've been doing, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm probably going to modify it, and I didn't think about this before, because I think doing, like, with all the conversion to online, so, and we'll probably spend most of their time doing the PowerPoint presentation.
Cool.
I apologize. I should just, I've been trying to revise this in my head, but we'll probably take the reflection paper out, and the resume is going to be like a later well, it's also going to be at the end of the semester. So, I think we're going to take that reflection out and figure out how to move around those 10 points, just because it's a lot of work for everybody with all this online search. So
maybe the worksheet can be part of the 10 points.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So we'll talk about all that shortly. Okay, so within those things, so the reflection, maybe not so much, but the other two anyhow, you're going to need a minimum of 3 references. At least one needs to be a book, and I'm going to show you how to find ebooks. And everything, including websites you talk about, need to be properly cited in that bibliography works cited page that we talked about earlier. So then we look at the 4 quadrants down here with my big red arrows. So the 4 things you're doing is over here, a collage of career images showing aspects of the work. I'm not going to go over that. You know how to find pictures. And what I would say though is really try and find images that are interesting. You know, the goal here is to try and tell her things maybe she doesn't know yet. You know, you want to make her interested in what you have to say, you know, and so if you can find, if you get aspects of your job, of the career that you're looking at, that say, you know, like you want to be a lawyer. Well, the judge hammers the gavel down. Maybe a picture of the gavel would be interesting. Or maybe, I don't know, you know, there are lots of interesting images that you can get that are fun to put in and interest your audience, give your audience a nice interest. So job description, we talked about that a little bit. We'll get into that. You're going to need qualities required to be successful in the career and qualities you already possess. So you might want to talk about, for example, I don't possess these qualities yet. I want to go for them in this way, kind of thing. And then salary information, the education required, and the training required. I'm going to show you how to find the answers to all those things today. So these are some of the places that we're going to go. The library homepage, the Ask a Librarian page, there's a citation page, the career research guide. We have a list of career websites that the librarians have put together for you. And then there's the worksheet. So let me take you to the homepage of the library. So you all know the homepage of Mesa College. Now, the library is located up here in the top right-hand corner where it says library. Or you can go to the search bar and put in the word library. Or if you're on a mobile site, this black line does not exist. Instead, you get like 3 lines to the left-hand side there that, that have all the things that are in the black line that are at the top. So if you don't see the black line, just look over here to the left and you'll get all the information there that's in the black line. So click on library and you get to our homepage. Now, the first thing I want to show you, if you forget everything today, everything I tell you, I need you to remember one thing. That's ask a librarian. This is one of the most important things I'm going to tell you today, because even if you forget 3/4 of the stuff I tell you today, if you go to the librarians, they can help you find the things you need. So there was a research guide. I don't know where it's at. I need to find that research guide. We will show you. I haven't found enough information. I need 5 pieces of information for each quadrant. I don't know enough about will this job grow in the future or not. We can help you find that information. So if you click on Ask a Librarian, there are the 2 ways that you can get us these days. One is an online research appointment. And if you click here, you can actually get a one-on-one Zoom appointment with a librarian. So these are your librarians. So you can choose one, or you can say no preference, and then whichever one is available during the time you want will be given to you. So let's say I'm available on Wednesday the 22nd, and I'm available at 2 o'clock. Then you're going to get Sean Flores, and you fill this out, and you click confirm appointment, and it's going to make a Zoom appointment for you. And then you go into that Zoom room at 2 o'clock, and you will have an appointment with Sean. The other way is a live chat. We have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week live chat. So if you are only available at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. If you need help on Memorial Day when everything's closed anyhow and you couldn't get a research appointment with a librarian if you wanted to, no problem, they're there. So if you click on live chat, you fill out this form to the right, click connect, and you get a librarian. The librarian has access to all the things we do. In the library, all the resources. They have all the passwords and everything needed to get where you need to go. And they're professional reference librarians, so they know what's going on. We are on there too, but we can't be on there 24 hours a day, so there are other people who help us out when we're not on. And oh, if you leave your correct email address, then you will get a full transcript of the entire conversation. So you don't have to remember all the things the librarians told you. That's really helpful. If you put a fake email address in there, that's fine. You can still do the chat. You just won't get the transcript. So that's all there is to that. So those are the two ways you get a hold of a librarian. Now, before we get into the research guide, the other thing I want you to know about, let's take you back to the homepage just so you see what the homepage looks like again. We're still on the left-hand side. I wanted to show you one more thing, and that's citing sources. So for this particular project, you need to cite in MLA citation style. So if you click on Cite Sources, we have Noodlebib, which is an incredibly wonderful assisting device, which I'll show you in a second. And we have different websites that can help you with MLA formatting style. So if you were to click, for example, on this website, you probably know this one. It's called Owl at Purdue. It's a very, very famous because it's really, really good. So if you scroll down, you'll see ads. You'll see electronic sources. So MLA Works cited electronic sources. So the majority of your sources are going to be electronic at this point in time, right? You're going to have to get them from online sources. So if you click electronic sources and go down, it'll say, here we go. So citing an entire website, it gives you information about how to do it, then gives you examples of what it should look like. But a single page on a website is a different citation than if you're citing an entire website. So it tells you the difference here and gives you an example. Ebooks. So you're gonna have to have at least one book, and at this point, it's probably gonna have to be an ebook, right? This is how you cite an ebook. An image, so if you want to cite any of those pictures that you're going to use, article and web magazine. So it gets really down there to detailed things. So an email, if you ever had a paper that you needed to talk about an email or a blog post, it has all of those definitions of how to do that. Oh, let's say you're doing something on on politics these days, and you wanted to put in one of President Trump's tweets. Here is how to cite a tweet so that it can be found later when you need to look it up. So there you go. There are all these different things in MLA that you can look at when you need to look up your sources. The other thing, though, is Noodlebib Citation Creator. This thing is awesome. If you click there, you have to sign in. Let me give you sign into my test site. For you, the very first time you use it, you need to go down here to register. It'll ask you like 5 really simple questions, and then you'll be registered. So once you sign in, these are my pretend papers. When you start this, you'll have nothing in here. It'll become totally empty because you have no projects yet. You want to click on New Project. So think green button. Green button's the important part. So when you click on the green button, and it says, what's your project name? So career portfolio. I'm using MLA style, and it's already got my citation level at advanced. So I want to keep advanced there because otherwise it's going to give me less options, and I want all the options. So I click submit, and it says, okay. Come on, say okay. And it gives me nothing. Let's update. There we go. Let's try it again. New project. I'll call it test because that's faster. MLA. Submit. Interesting. See if the dashboard will come up. Okay. Usually what it's supposed to do is take you directly to the dashboard. If it doesn't, you can go to any of these top ones yourself. So if projects ends up being empty and it doesn't take you to where it's supposed to go, don't worry about it. Just click. But normally what it does is it dumps you directly into dashboard once you click submit. And here's the problem. You don't need this right now. So every time it takes you to dashboard, go to the right and click on sources. That's the thing to remember. That's probably the most complicated thing about all of Noodlebib is remembering to click on sources. So this is where you add a new source. So let's say I have a newspaper article that I want to put in. And let's say I found it. One of the neat things about some of the things I'm going to show you is they're going to give you the citation. They're just going to hand it to you. So watch this. So here's a green button. So I need a new source, right? So I'm gonna click the green button. I'm gonna get it from database because everything I'm gonna show you today is from databases. So let's say it was a newspaper article from the database. So I can choose here now, newspaper. There's lots of options for me. And it says, okay, what's the name of the database you used? What's the website address? That's the URL. What is it? So you just fill this stuff in. The author, first name, middle name. If you don't have it, just skip it. Last name, article title. So just go through, fill out everything you need. If you have one of those places I'm going to show you that actually gives you the citation, you don't have to create it. You just click a button and up comes the citation. Then you want to go down. Oh, sorry. Then you want to go up here. They moved it to quick cite, copy and paste citation. You just click here, go down here, paste your citation, and click save. Up top, click save, and that will put it into the system. So once you've done what you need to do, you save it. And if you go into projects, let me show you what happens for each item. I have this this one, English 47A paper. So here's one where I put in 5 different items. That projects button is just really messing up right now. Let's see if I can, here we go. So here are my English 47 items. So there's a newspaper article about Tiger King. And it says here, this is a copy of a pre-formatted citation. So I found that Tiger King newspaper article. I clicked the button, I got the citation, and I dumped it in here. This one doesn't have that, which means I put it in item by item, each one of those little boxes I filled in. So I have 5 things here: newspapers, television programs, websites. Now here's the thing though. I can't take a picture of this and send it in and say, here you go, here's my bibliography. Here's my works cited page, because this is not in the correct format. So what you need to do, you do not, by the way, need to go through, open up Word and say, okay, copy, paste into Word, copy, paste into Word. Don't do that. It's too hard. It takes too long. But it did put them in alphabetical order. Did you notice that? Arcega first, D doesn't count. So Associated Press second, C for can, D for duck, S for Smith. So it put them in order, but I can't use this as my works cited page. So what I do is I go up here to print export, and I export it into Word. And it opens up in Word. Hold on one moment. Oh, I'm going to have to share screen over to that one. Hold on one second. Let me new share. Go to Word doc. Did it? Yeah, here we go. So if you look here, there it is, my works cited page with all of the items that I had before, but it's now in a works cited page. I can enable editing on it, and I can say, okay, I need to add, oh, screen sharing stopped. Oh, hold on one second. Oh, in any case, it, let's see, it gave me a Word document. So I can then mess with the Word document any way I want to, right? I can now add my name, I can add the class, I can add anything I want. So there is the joy of Noodlebib. I just kind of wanted you to know that that exists, and it's really easy, especially once you do it once or twice. So let me go back to the college homepage. So I'm going to go back in the library. So those are 2 things I wanted you to know about before we get into this project. Now, down here in the center, so that's all I want you to know about in the left-hand side right now. The center, this one search is how you look up a book. If you had ever worked with our system in the fall, it looked different. It was called Super Search. We changed it over the Christmas holiday break there to be one search. So it works way differently now, but people like it better. So that's how you find books, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec. However, I want you to take a look at this center section that says Research Tools. Today, I'm going to be leaning really heavily on a career research guide, which is located here. See where it says library research guides. Remember that link, because when you click there, we have a career guide that's made just for you. So this is where you go when you click that career guide. So we have Career Center information. If you wanted to click on that, you can click here or here. It'll take you to the Career Center. Career worksheet for library research class. We're going to be talking about this. If you click there, this worksheet will come up. We're trying to make it fillable online, but that's not the case right now. So you're going to have to print it out or find a way to print on it or get the information to your instructor. Professor Hedekin and I will work that out. But so as we go through today, you are going to have to turn in this worksheet, and I'm going to go through how you fill out each section of this worksheet as we go through today. So wake up, everybody. This is one thing that you've got to pay attention to so that you can fill it out and you can get the points. So where was that again? Well, let's look at the home page again. From the library's homepage, you're in the center section and you're clicking on Library Research Guides. You're in the career class, so you go to careers. Here we go, careers. And it takes you here. And so your worksheet is right there. We're going to have a list of career websites we're going to look at. And if you wanted to go straight to that list of career websites, you can click here and it'll go to that page on the library's website that has different career places to go for careers. And these are websites that the librarians have found to be really, really good. And so they put them on their own website for you. And here are different resource information, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's go to interest assessment. Okay, here's the deal, guys. I don't know if you have an idea of what it is you want to do your career project on yet, but it would be handy if you had an idea. In fact, why don't you give us an idea? Does anybody have any thoughts on what they want to do their career project on? I'm gonna try and open up the chat again. It doesn't want to open for me. Put in the chat. And then, I know, Professor, why don't you tell me some of the ones that show up in the chat because I can't see the chat for whatever reason.
Dentist, diplomat.
Ooh.
I know there's some future vets. Fabricator, interior designer. Oh, shoot, I lost, there it is. Ooh. Architect.
Nice.
Nurse. Lots of good jobs.
Okay, I'm going to help you out. All right, so if you are one of the people who's sitting there saying to yourself, that's great, I don't know. They know, why don't I know? No problem. In this section of the take an interest assessment section, I've got two assessments that have, this one has 30 questions in it, and the second one has 60 questions. So if you have a minute, they go really fast. You can do the interest assessment, and they're really easy. Like if you go to the 30 question one, you click here, then click where it says interest assessment, and it's going to tell us what you like to do, what you don't like to do. We'll show you careers that fit your interests. So you just say start assessment, and they give you 30 quick questions, and you just quickly fill them out, and then it'll spit out a response for you. So since it looks like the majority of you already know, I'll show you how to get where you need to go to look at the answers to this, because this will take you directly to the exploring a career section of this same website. But so you don't get too confused, I'm going to show you how to get there. So that's the career assessment. So if anybody has any questions as to, or maybe you're looking up your career, you can't find what you need, and you're like, maybe this isn't a good career, and you want to see if maybe there's another career that's like the one that you want to do, but isn't the one you want to do. For example, I was doing one today to test out the system, and one of the things it said is I might want to be a counselor or a psychologist. So just like your professor. So it could be that if I didn't find enough on librarianship, I might say, you know, actually being a counselor wouldn't be such a bad idea. And maybe I want to look into that. I can do that as well in these websites. But this will tell you some of the ones that are similar. So librarian and counselor actually have similar things that go on, but different careers, but similar aspects. So this next section of the research guide will give you tips on how to search. We're going to go over that together, so I'm not going to worry about that too much in this section. But down here, it's like getting started. It'll tell you places to go, how to pick a topic, which is better for like your English class, for example. If they say do a paper on anything you want, or pick a controversial issue, and you're like, I have no idea how to search for something, or climate change, but climate change is huge. How do I make it more narrow? You can go through these videos, and they'll help you learn how to pick a topic and how to pick the right words. Those are how to pick keywords. And where should you choose to search? Do you want to use the library's databases? Do you want to use Google? What do you want to use? And then there's some citation assistance here as well. So if you want more information on how to cite with MLA, here's OWL at Purdue, which I was just showing you. Here's another one called Excelsior. So if you don't want to go to the library's website, you just want to use the research guide, we have everything you need to use the research guide. But we know you need a book. And if I remember correctly, in your worksheet, you have to find a book. So how do we find a book on the system so you can fill out this section and get some points? I'm going to go down to the book ebook section of the career research guide. And there's a link to our library catalog. Our library catalog has all of the ebooks, articles from popular magazines and scholarly journals, videos, all the things are in. Everything that we have online is you can find via the library catalog. So let me show you the library catalog first. Now, if I click there, it's going to take me directly to our one search bar. Now, if you remember from the library's home page, that's also right here. So if you wanted to search from there, that's fine too. If you want to search from our books, ebooks section and click on library catalog and have it send you there, it's the same thing. It's just two different ways to get there. So let's just do resumes. So let's say I want to just do a resume. If I put in resume, look down here, it gives me help. Resume writing. Ah, yes, that's what I want to do. I want to write a resume. So I'm going to click there so it puts in both words, and then it's going to search. So those little boxes are for searching. Now here's the problem. I need a book. Here's an article. Here's a book on federal resume guidebook strategies for writing a winning federal resume. Well, I don't want a federal, maybe I don't want a federal job. Here's another article. Ooh, there's that keyword one. I'm going to show you that one in a second. But let me show you something. On the left-hand side, the left-hand side is your friend. Let's put it that way. You want to use this to help yourself out. So let's say you only want to look at what ebooks are available. You don't want these articles. You don't want paper books. You only want ebooks. You need to click two things. One is available online. So all of the stuff that's in paper that you'd have to be on campus to get will go away. So click that first. Now look, I have 108,019 results right now. When I click on available online and I apply the filter, my 108,000 go down to 108. So I only got rid of like 100, 200. Hold on. That's because there's so many things online. Because look, it still gives me articles. I just want books. So after I click the available online filter, which is now up on the top, I want to go down to resources and tell it just books. But look, there's no books there. If I click show more, there are my books. There's 142 online books. So if I click there, now it takes my 10,000 or 100,000 or whatever it was down to 142. And these are all online books. So get that? So it was available online, and then it went up top. Then I went down to, where'd it go? resources. Oh, well, I went away because I'm now filtered down to books. But it went to resources and it had newspapers, articles, all the things. I clicked show more and books came up. So let's look at this online book. I'm gonna click on available online and it'll take me into the page that talks about that book. Now this one happens to be in paper 2 over at Miramar. We're going to ignore that because we can't do anything with paper anyway. If you were on campus and you wanted to get that Miramar book, you could actually sign in and request the book and have it sent to Mesa and you can pick it up. But that's not an option right now. So let's look at these ebooks. So this is an EBSCO ebook. So look at how easy, if you start using ebooks, you may never go back to using paper for research. It's so nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a librarian. I love me a good book. I love me a good paper book. Look back there, that bookcase of all books back there. Yeah, I'm all about the books. But this is what you get when you want the ebook. Now for EBSCO, the company that brings us this particular book, the first thing you see is just a page about the book. To look at it, you want to click on PDF full text. So click there. If no one else is looking at the book will come up for me. If someone else is looking at the book, most books we only have one license for, I have to wait until they're done with it. But here's the good news. If this was a paper book and I went into the library and checked out that book, I have the book, you can't see it because I've got it. And you're not gonna see it until I give it back, which may be 2-3 weeks from now. This online book, as soon as I'm done with it today, you can see it. And I'm not gonna spend more than 40 minutes with it, probably. I'm not gonna read it cover to cover. I'm just gonna get the information I need out of it because I'm doing research and I'm gonna put it away. So here's my book. So you might say, yeah, well, you're telling me I don't wanna do it cover to cover, but look, I have to go through the table of contents to see what I want. Haha, hold on. Yeah, it's nice to go into the table of contents and find out what everything's about, but let me think this a little bigger, but geez, that's a lot of stuff. What this book does, just as an aside, is it's that keyword I was telling you about. So trying to throw in keywords to your resume that'll be pulled out by the computer so that your resume will go to a real person to look at. Because some jobs get so many applicants, they let the computer do all the work in the beginning so they can get just who they want. So this is how to fool the system. This is gaming the system. So I know though that I want to be a nurse. So what I can do is I can say search within. I can go over here and say nurse. And up comes all 9 pages that the word nurse shows up on. So if I click this first one, it's going to take me directly to page 119. And what this particular book does, and let me make this a little bit bigger for you, is it shows me a resume, a sample resume, and it says what keywords you might want to put in that resume. Now you'll notice that there are highlighted words. What it's done is it's highlighted the word nurse, the word that I was searching for. Well, I noticed here that the word patient comes up a lot. So I want to see where did they put the word patient in this resume. What I can do is do a find feature. If you look down at if you're on a PC, not a Mac is a tiny bit different, I'll tell you in a second, and you look at the CTRL, which is the control button at the bottom left, if you were to hold down the control button and then click F, you'll notice that I get this box. Now I was playing with it already, so it already says patient to it, which normally it wouldn't. It comes up empty. Now I'm in Chrome, so this shows up at the top right. If you're in Safari, the search box will show up at the bottom left. It just will show up at different places. If you have a Mac, you don't use the CTRL, you use the command button, the CMD command button. Hold that down and click F and you'll get the same thing. So I'm gonna put in the word patient and click enter, and look what happens. It comes up, it highlights the word patient everywhere in the book, wherever it shows up. So I can search for different words if I want to within the book chapter that I get. So that's how you use that. Now let's say I like this one, and let's say, oh, and it gives me interview Q&A using keywords. So why should we hire you? What are your strengths and how do you see yourself contributing to our company? Here is somebody's response to that. So it's kind of interesting. So let's say, oh, maybe I also want to be a nutritionist. Okay, so I want these first 2 because I'm interested in looking at both careers or making a resume for both. So that's page 119 and page 120. So what I would do is I'd go up to save pages. It can let me save up to 60 pages. I can save the current page, or for example, the next one page, because I want page 119 and page 120. This section's only one page, so that would be one page again. Save it, and it'll give me this page and the next page. Email the pages to myself. Then this comes up. In subject, make sure you write whatever makes it unique. Here's the thing. If you put the same thing in subject for everything you send yourself, you won't know which one was for finding keywords on your resume, which one was about the skills you need for the job, which one was about the education you need for the job. If you just put in career portfolio every time you send yourself something, you have to go back and read them all again and figure out what they were about, each item you sent to your email. Ask me how I know. I've done this way too many times. I've done it. I mean, I've researched for a living, and it's a mistake I've made way too many times. So don't do what I have done, please, everybody. Let me save you some time. Okay. Print pages. You got that. Cite. Remember, I told you you'll be able to have an automatic citation. If you click Cite, they're in alphabetical order, the different citation styles. So if you go down to MLA, there it is. Oopsie. Start from the back. Copy, paste, if you can do it the right way. Copy, paste, put it into your works cited. Do double check it. They do get it wrong sometimes. And sometimes when I have pasted, things like the words that are in italics will go away. And I have to put the italics in once again. So do be careful. But I mean, this is very nice. This is very, very nice. And that's the only thing you really need to know about doing the ebooks. So if there are any questions in the chat, feel free to ask any questions you want, and Professor Hedekin will lob them over, won't you, Professor? Of course. Okay, so that was how to find an ebook. So let us review what we are going to have to do for our career paper or worksheet. So call number. Let's take a look here. Where was, here we go. So here's my book. I'm going to click on it so I get all the information about the book. Call number. Well, you know what? This book is available online. If it was a paper book, I'd want to go down here to where it said call number, because this is how I find it in the library. That's the subject system that we use. But you don't have to worry about that right now. You can just write online. Title. Okay. No, it's over here. No, it's not over here. Hold on a sec. Oh, I can do it from here. So your title is 2,500 keywords to get you hired. There's your title. Your author is going to be right down here. Block J.A. and Beatrice, comma Michael. So Michael Beatrice and J. Blocks. And you want to do it last name first. It was published in 2003. So if we look here, we need the author. The year of publication is over here. City of publication and the status of the book. Enter one subject heading. Okay. So let me show you how you find those things. All of that information is down here under details. So there's your title, there are your authors. Your publisher is McGraw-Hill. The place of publication is New York. The publication date is 2003. So all of your information you need here. It had subject headings. It asked for what kind of subjects. You want to go down here to subjects. There are 4 subjects talked about, major subjects that are gone over in this book. You just want to pick one of them. So in this case, you could say job hunting. And you can go back to here and you can put in, enter one subject heading and put job hunting, because that was one of the subject headings that showed up. So now, if you have trouble, if you get your paper, your worksheet, and you're like, oh man, I forget how to find a book. What can you do? Somebody put it in the chat right now. What can you do? Anybody got it, Professor? Oh, come on, people. Who's here to help you? If I take you back to the library's homepage, and I take you here.
Someone said ask a librarian.
Yes.
Yes, another person said ask a librarian.
Thank you, people.
It came in at the same time.
All right. Yay, you. Thank you. So yeah, so remember I told you I'm going to tell you a whole lot of things today, and you're going to start getting confused, and it's going to start washing over you. It's okay. You have an idea of where to go. You have an idea of what to do. If you get stuck, you ask a librarian. Making a one-on-one appointment with a librarian, we'll go over it all with you. Go into the 24/7 chat and say, I don't know how to find a book. I don't remember how to find an ebook particularly, and I got to fill this worksheet out. Can you help me? And the librarian will help you. We're going to skip the course reserve link because we don't need that right now. And I'm going to give you so much stuff right now. So that part you do not have to do for your class. I hope that's okay, Professor. But I think we don't need that right now. Okay, the next section is find career information on the web. All right, so let's go back to, from the library's homepage, we were down at the library research guides. We went into careers. I'm going over this over and over again to hopefully remind you how to get there because it's a little bit of a navigation thing. We were in our books and ebooks, right? We were in there just a second ago. We went to library catalog. By the way, down here is just, if you were to click on, for example, resumes, if you were to click on that on the ebooks page, it's going to take you directly to a link of resume books. But they're not, oh yeah, and I already made them online books. But notice your 2,500 keywords isn't the first one that comes up because I did resumes employment for this, not resume writing. So it brings up different books, but that's just something that is kind of fun with this particular ebooks page. But the only thing that you really need is the library catalog link. So let's go to websites. Now, for this sheet, where is it? For this sheet, you're going to find a website and you're going to find out what topic did you find the information. So it might be nurse practitioner or accountant or dentist or interior designer. What knowledge, skills, abilities are required to work in this career? What kind of education, special training would you need for this career? What is the salary range for this career? By the time you graduate, do you think there will be many jobs available for people just starting this career? And explain your answer. Which resources did you use? So you might be thinking to yourself, you're kidding me, right? I don't know the answer to those. That's because you can find them where I'm going to go. We know you can't answer all these off the top of your head, and we want you to understand how to look this stuff up in these websites. So here's what we did. Let's see. Going into websites. These are some of the websites that are in the stuff down here under career exploration are websites that are going to be in this link. So you can just go straight to this link if you want, or you can use these websites. I'm going to go directly to Career One Stop. So if I was going to click on the career website, I would go down here to Career One Stop here, or from the research guide, I can click on Career One Stop here. Doesn't matter, takes me to the same place. So I'm going to explore careers. Now I can do an assessment, I can do all kinds of things, but what I want to do is I just want to find a career. So if I click on it, I can just click on that and it says occupation profile, search by occupation. All right, so let's say dentist. Now it's dentist general. So for us, this is good. It only gives us one example. If I put in like teacher, I'll show you. If you put in something that's a little bit vague, like teacher, usually it gives you all the different options. Let me see, hold on one second. That's 92111, that's where Mesa is located. Click search. Usually it gives you, here we go. See, because teacher is so broad, it says, okay, can you select from what kind of teacher do you want to be? Because it gives you lots of different options. So let's say I want to be a art, drama, and music teacher, no, communications teacher and post-secondary. I want to do that. Okay. So what it does then is it brings up this career. There's a video. They're kind of, it's only 1:50 seconds, so it's no hardship to watch. Outlook, will there be jobs? new job opportunities are likely in the future. Now, it doesn't look like there's a lot. So if you can click here and do find job openings, but watch this. Over here, it gives you the projected employment. So what it basically is doing is it's giving you the information from over here and putting it in here. So from what it knows, there will be more jobs. And that's because in the United States, there are now 35,800 job opportunities for employment as this career. But by 2028, there will be 37,700 opportunities. So that's an increase of 5%. So the annual projected job openings is 3,200 per year. So sorry, this means there's 35,800 right now. They think there's going to be 37,700 needed by 2028. So it's a 5% increase, not huge. There will be some job openings. It's not going crazy. But that's something that you can talk about in one of your quadrants for your career portfolio. And also one of the things that you can respond to in here, because it asks you down here, by the time you graduate, do you think there will be many jobs available for people just starting this career? Explain your answer. Well, you can do that from what you know here from this part of the job employment information on Career One Stop. Typical wages. Ooh, how much can you make? Median income, 117,570. That person is making a lot of money. They're in Carlsbad. I don't know where. Communication teacher. Wow. Must be a four-year university. I don't know where they're at.
Yeah, communications. It says post-secondary. Yeah, that's Miracosta College right there.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Carlsbad. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. That's good money. Yeah. So that particular job can make some good money. I'm thinking maybe they're not going for community college. Maybe they're going for I don't know. Anyway, so there's an idea of what kind of money you can make in this job. So not bad. Now this is the graph version. You can click here and it'll show it to you as a chart, low, medium, high, or a table, whatever kind of makes more sense to you. So this is kind of interesting. This is the difference between what you could make in Carlsbad and what you can make in a normal United States communications job. So our median might be 105,190, but in the United States, 68,910 because the cost of living in California is so high. Now, education and experience to get started. People starting in this career usually have doctoral or professional degree, no work experience, no on-the-job training. So what they mean by that is you can get the job if you don't have experience being a teacher in post-secondary communications. You could have had a career in another communications field. No on-the-job training. So you don't necessarily have to have been a teacher's assistant and know all about the classroom. Programs that can prepare you, journalism, speech communication, documentary production, so these guys. And what's neat is if you were to click on this, it would take you to a list of places in the area that have those programs. So Southwestern College, for example, has a speech communication and rhetoric program. It's a 2-year program and they have approximately 40 graduates per year. So if you click on that, it'll tell you where you can go to get that preparation in that area. Certifications, show your skills. Earning a certification can help you get a job and get a promotion. So it looks like a certification is good if there's one available. Typical education, this one's cool too. So only 1% actually have the doctoral or professional degree, but 10% have master's degrees, 35% have bachelor's degrees, this is kind of an interesting, I don't necessarily agree with this one myself, because to be a professor at, for example, here at Mesa College, you have to have a master's degree. So I'm not sure where they're getting this particular one from, but we're not going to worry about that right now. When you're doing yours, this is just go by what it says, and we can look it up and make sure what you said was what they said. But I don't necessarily agree with this particular one. But in any case, I would recommend you get that master's degree if you want to teach in post-secondary. But that's, yeah, because nobody's going to hire you unless you do. That's just experience talking. Activities, what you might do in a day. You might evaluate student work, guide class discussions, administer tests, prepare tests, develop. So it tells you activities. Now, let's look back at this worksheet. What kind of education or special training do you need? What knowledge, skills, and abilities are required? What's the salary range? So you've got all this information given to you from this one website. So here's some skills that you need to have to do this job, abilities, and related occupations. So let's say you look through this and you don't like the skills and abilities, but you like what it is, but you don't really want to do that job. You want to have similar skills and abilities. Oh, well, maybe you want to be a different kind of teacher, or maybe you want to be a training and development specialist. You want to get out of teaching completely and do a different kind of job that has the same kind of skill set. Or instructional coordinators. So you can go in there and look at those jobs. So that's websites, and that will help you tremendously on both the career worksheet, but also in here where we have job description, salary information. Let's go this here. Yeah. You need qualities needed for this position, qualities you already possess, salary information, education required, and training required. So all those things you need for your portfolio career project. So kind of, if you can get it done on the worksheet, you can just get it done on your career portfolio as well. So basically you're doing your homework for your career portfolio by doing your homework for your worksheet. So it's two in one. It's a win-win all the way around. Okay, so that is websites. So let's take a look at the next thing you're gonna have to do is find a job. So you need to find a job opening for that kind of job and answer the questions of where did you get the information from? So what website did you use? What's the company's name? What's the job title? And what information did you find out about the career source? Now you have a lot of different options in that website. So from the careers, you've got all these different websites, and like Cal Jobs would be good to go to. That one can help. But I like to click on the websites here. There's some neat ones in here. There's San Diego Jobs, jobbing.com. They're usually pretty good. You can just play around in here, really. I'm gonna not use Career One Stop because we've already looked at it. Let's look at I Am Diversity. So these guys have job listings. So you can enter a keyword. Let's see, who can we do this time? Let's say nurse. So it's going to take me directly to jobs right away. So let's say a lot of nursing instructors, lots of professors. It's kind of interesting. I would go through and see what I can find. And there's all kinds of different, like let's say, okay, I only want California. Okay, so let's say I want to be, we'll just go for the first one. So this is Grossmont Union High School District, licensed vocational nurse substitute job in La Mesa. And it gives me all the information that they want me to have in order to be good for this job. So I read through this and I learn a few things. By looking at what job postings are asking for, can tell you what kind of requirements, what kind of skills do I need to be able to get this job. So even if you're not ready to look for a job, it's really a good idea to look at job postings and see what people are asking for so that you can get those skills and learn those things so that you can be the best candidate for the job when it's time for you to go for that job. So you want to go through all this, find any job listing from any source you'd like, and go to here, and you're going to talk about the source used. So I used Monster.com, I used I Am Diversity, I used whatever you used. Company name, so this was Grossmont Union High School District. Job title was that nurse substitute, whatever it said there, what I put there. What other information were you able to find from this source? So you got to read the job listing, find out what does this job want? And I would pick the most interesting kind of thing you see. Not that they want me to go to school. That I would find something that makes you say, really? And put that in here, because you want Professor Hedekin to be like, really? And have her see how interested you were in the posting that you saw. So that's how you do that section. And I think, if I remember correctly, was it at the bottom of this? Yeah, non-government commercial websites. So these guys at the very bottom are all places you can go to find job listings as well. They're all over the place. I mean, that Career One Stop that I gave you, that one has a job search post on it as well. You just click there and find a job right here. You can just go right here and put in. So there's lots of different places to go to find a job. Okay, so that's that portion of it. Now, the last portion of the worksheet. Using library databases to find career information. So you're going to need to find anything you can about this career and fill this out. So you're going to have to find an article. What is the company or career that's being talked about? What's the name of the database you found it from? And I'll show you what I'm talking about with that. What's the article title? What's the title of the periodical, which is the name of the magazine or journal? So if it's like Psychology Today or something, whatever the journal's name is, you put there, issue date, page that the article begins on, and what information did this article actually give you? So let me go back to our resource guide. In article and journal databases, I have 4 different databases that deal with just careers. Now, there is another way to get to these databases, and I'll show it to you, but going through the research guide is going to be a lot easier for you, because to get to those career guides normally, or career databases normally, you go down to this first one. Library research guides is where we got our research guides. That's why we know this center section already. If you go to A to Z databases, you can also get the career databases. So if you click on A to Z databases, there are 99 different databases of articles. So 99 places you can go to get different articles. We broke them down by subject. So you can go here to education and careers, and they're all in here. So you could do it that way, but really it's going to be much easier for you to just go to Library Research Guide, careers. Since you're going to use this so much, I think, when you go into the article, when you're looking for the databases, go here and they're right here. So either way you want to do it. And again, let's say this is too much. I don't think I'm ever going to find any of this again. I need to get an article in a database about this. What can you do if you need the help? Where do you go? Professor, are they putting it in? Chat, people. Where do you go if you can't remember how to find an article in the database?
Nothing yet.
Oh, come on, people.
I was going to volunteer Ask a Librarian, but yeah,
you.
someone said that. Ask a librarian.
Right on. Okay, good. Right, because there's a lot of information right here. Now we've recorded this, and you can go back and look at it again and again, but you can also ask a librarian, which is a really good thing to get used to doing anyhow, because as you start to get to learn the system, you won't need as much. But if you want to ask a librarian every day for all your research questions, that's fine. That's not cheating. It's okay. So college source for the databases. College source will give you college information. We're not worried about that right now. So we're going to look at the other 3. I personally am interested in these 2. Vocation Careers and Technical Education and Vocation Studies Complete. I would use one of these 2 for your worksheet. So I'm just going to click on one of them. So it gives me a search box, and I'm going to say interior designer. Now, if I just say interior designer and I click search, that is so broad. I get 17,258 results. So there's two problems here. One, interior design. I'm not saying what I want to know about interior design. Do I want to know about the career? Do I want to know about the most popular thing going on in interior design right now? What do I want? I didn't say. The other problem that I have is I'm searching for the word interior separate from the word designer. So it may not have interior designer together as a phrase. So what I would do is I'd put quotation marks around interior designer to make it a phrase. I want these 2 words to be searched for together. So hold on, I had 17,258 results. If I do that, let's see if it helps at all. 4,642 results. So it took away a lot. So, but still, I'm not really necessarily looking, maybe I want to be more specific. I mean, I would look through a few of these because they are being given to us by relevance. I can do it oldest to newest or something like that, but relevance is usually the best. So I can say, and career. So I want that to tell me about interior design and careers. My 4,642 go down to 221. So now it's a little bit better. But still, I don't want to go through all 221 to find what I need. Remember I told you about the left-hand menu in OneSearch? They have it here in Vocational Studies Complete as well. What I like to do is go down to subjects and see what subjects are covered in these 221 articles. So I maybe interior decorators and show more. Let me see if there's anything about careers in here. Career development, maybe. Occupations, there's 5 that are specifically on occupations. Okay, I'm going to click there and see if maybe that's better. Influential interiors. So it sounds like this is probably about interior decorators that are influential. Yep, designers, occupation. So I can go through here and see what they have to say. So let's say I like this one. If I click on it, and I can do it either way, I can click on either way. Just like the book, the ebook that I had, it gives me information about it. If I actually want to look at it, I need to click over here again. But it's showing it to me because it's HTML. So yeah, look and see if it'll show you the article. So here's my article. I read it. I see what it has to say about interior design and my career and what did I learn. When I figure out what I learned, I go back to my worksheet and I put in what information about the company or career does the article provide. So what information did you find out from this article about interior designing or interior designers or about the career of interior design? What did you find out? So the database I use, notice it says database name. The database that I used, if I can find where I was. Okay. The database that I used is Vocation Studies Complete. So whatever database I used is what I clicked on when I was in my research guide. So if I clicked on this one, that would be the database I used. If I clicked on this one, that's the database I used. So for your paper, that's how you know the database. Article title, periodical title. Let's take a look. Article title, Influential Interiors. That's the name of this article. The actual place that this showed up in, the magazine that this showed up in is called House Beautiful. That's the periodical title. So they're not the same. So all of the articles show up in this magazine. So this is the title of the article. This is the title of the magazine. And if you look at it, it's put together in, I think, MLA format. No, not MLA. I don't know what format this is. Let's see. But click on site. Let's see how it shows it to me. Nope, it's not MLA. Huh, interesting. I don't know what it is. It's not APA because that's what I use. But it gives me all the information I would need, or most of the information that I would need for this article if I wanted to cite it. But that's how I know that it's from House Beautiful, is from this information about citing the source. So that is finding the database that way, finding the career information that way. So let's take a look at this again. So we're gonna have a collage of career images. You're on your own. Job description. So I think we can find a job description really well, like in Career One Stop, or there are other places to go to. I'll show you in the research guide. Qualities needed for the position and the qualities you already possess, salary information, education requirements, training requirements. So let me show you just one thing. I'm forgetting what I was going to show you. Job description. Oh, I know. Okay, so when we are in here, and we look at websites over here. In career exploration, all of these, it says government websites, but that just means that they're brought to you by the government. They're .gov sites. They're not about government jobs. So don't be fooled by that. This is just career exploration. So, career exploration. So if you want to find any job description, so let's say you look up dentist in Career One Stop and you don't get what you want, or you look up diplomat and you don't get what you want. If you go to these other websites, you might find what you're looking for. I only showed you Career One Stop. There are more, and they're listed here in both in the list of career websites provided on the library website and on the career exploration site here. And again, these are federal resources. They're not about federal jobs. These are about jobs in the USA, job employment opportunities for veterans. California, San Diego resources, you want to be more specific. You want to stay in California. You want to look for jobs there. Those are there too. These are mainly to find a job, that portion. Not so much job description, although you can kind of get a job description by a job posting, depending on how they've posted it. And then there's more job seeking information down there. So I just wanted you to see those. So that's how you find your job description, qualities needed. All those websites are going to give you qualities needed, salary information, all that kind of thing. So, Professor, are there any additional questions, or would you like me to go over anything else that?
Oh, sorry.
Hi,
yeah, look, there's everybody again. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, this is a good time to ask now. I guess one big thing will be like filling out that worksheet. So you think by the end of the week that's going to be PDF-able or fillable?
I think I can get that PDF fillable by the end of the week. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, if you all want to start on it early, go in there and start it. If you don't, if you want to wait till the end of the week where you can fill it out for the PDF, then just hang out. But you can write notes and stuff while it's still fresh in your head. You can go into the worksheet and write what you need to write. It just might be easier to give it in once it's in the PDF fillable form.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and it might be interesting to see how much you remember of what you heard today.
Yeah, that's a lot of information.
Yeah,
and then let's see, I'm going to modify the final project a little bit, probably take out that reflection. And then the resume is not going to be due at the same time because it is kind of all together at the end of the semester. But I'm just making the resume, I'm going to make that do a little bit later, but they still have to get it done. So I don't know if anybody else so this is going to be on YouTube, right? Your YouTube channel, and you'll send me the email.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, I'm looking for questions. I don't see any questions. And some people ask me if there were examples of the project, and they're in the module section of our Canvas shell, so they can see a couple examples. I'm going to check my email on my phone here, see if anybody emailed me.
And I'm going to put my email address into the chat box.
Oh, cool.
There you go, everybody, if you need it. I'm also easy to find. I'm really easy to find on the library website.
Yeah, I think you're everywhere. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. If you just want to email me directly, that's okay too. I'm happy to help any way you want. I mean, I've got my own Zoom meeting room. So, you know, I could always find a place in my schedule and just do my own personal Zoom meeting room if you don't want to go for an appointment or you can't find an appointment time that's available through the system.
Oh, okay.
That's easy enough. Yeah.
Is this your Zoom room? Like this thing, like an open?
This is from my Zoom account. This is not my Zoom meeting room. I made a special meeting for this class.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So nobody else can just jump in if they knew my meeting room name. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, anybody have any famous last questions there? No? Well, sometimes it takes a while, you know, to think it over.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Here, let me stop the recording.